So now when you look at Adam, this is 1. Beth is 2. 1, 40. Right? When you add up all of this, what do you get? So what you find happening is that man and woman, to fully function on this earth, they need to be how? Together. They need to exist together. Could they exist without God? Think about it. Look at the structure. This is God here. Could they exist without God? Yes. You could exist for a time. Because you will never die. There is no annihilation with humankind. There is separation. The absence of life or the absence of goodness is darkness, or your choice. That's the absence of, but you can never be annihilated. Could you exist without God? Yes, clearly. And we live in a world where we have atheists. We have agnostic. We have people of different religious belief and structure, because why? They don't believe in their creator. He said, I am a stumbling block to those who perish. He said that book is a stumbling block. So if that's a stumbling block in itself, okay. So now we see man could live without the creator, but his function becomes what? Very limited to which role? This word, naturalistic. And who we want to follow? We want to follow the world. Everything they have. The cars, the house, the attachment, all these things. All based upon the what? The man and woman natural state, which is the dam, which is the blood. Rudy red. When God made man, man was red. Bloodshot. You ever see red? Talking about red. Rudy. It's for a reason. Let me jump ahead and go where I need to go. I needed to show you that basic construction of Yahweh in mankind, created mankind. Now man was created for a purpose. Yahweh made man for a purpose. And now remember we talk about the red, we talk about how man was created. When Yahweh made man, he made man with something about mankind is different to a woman. Who can tell me what on man is different to a woman? Huh? A seed? No, the penis, not seed. Penis. That's right. Because we see that how Eve didn't have to get a seed from no man to bring Jesus. Because the Bible said in Genesis, and her seed is going to bruise your head. It's going to crush your head. Her seed. So you see a woman having a seed, but the seed comes from God. Symbolic of God. Now, Yahweh made a covenant with Abraham in Genesis chapter 17. And verse 9. And where did he make the covenant with Abraham? Turn to Genesis chapter 17. Let's see. Let's look at it quickly. Turn to Genesis 17. Find Genesis 17. Look at verse. Look at verse 9. From verse 9. All right, not 9. Let's read from 11. All right, let's go back to 9. God also said to Abraham, and for you and your offspring after you throughout their generation are to keep my covenant. This is my covenant. This is my covenant. You must circumcise the flesh. Every one of you, male, must be circumcised. Must be circumcised. This is the covenant between me and you and your offspring after you. Now I am on verse 12. Throughout your generation, every male among you at 8 days old is to be circumcised. This includes a slave born in your house and one purchased with money from another country or foreigner. So now we see Yahweh is doing something with Abraham. What is he doing with Abraham? He making a covenant. He said, I'm making a covenant with you. Where he made a covenant with Abraham? On his penis. What he did with his penis? Circumcision. What it means to circumcise? It means to cut short, to expose. When Yahweh now exposed Abraham, did anything wrong with Abraham? Was anything wrong with Adam when Yahweh made him?
No.
Adam was made how? Perfect.
Yeah, he was.
Because we know a better way came, which is Christ, the second Adam. Because the first Adam was made how? Perfect. And we know that Adam had foreskin. But what happened now? What happened to Adam right now? Adam had to be what? Exposed. Adam had to be exposed. Yahweh had to cut Adam what? Short. Why? It's for a covenant. So now why would Yahweh make the covenant with Adam on his penis? Anybody have any idea?
I think it's a foreshadow for Christ to come.
A foreshadow for?
Christ to come.
For Christ to come. A beautiful, beautiful answer. And that is so true. It's an expression of that which is joined to who? Abraham being symbolic of God. Abraham being symbolic of Yahweh the Father. And the penis being symbolic of who? The Son. The seed must come forth. Yes. The seed have to come. It must come. But Abraham is symbolic of the Father. Because remember, no man never touched Eve. Eve was, not Eve. Mary was a virgin overlaid with by the whom? The Spirit of God. So now we're seeing that Abraham, symbolic of God, his penis, symbolic of Christ. And now what is going to happen? He cut Abraham cut himself short. What happened to the foreskin? Did it continue to live? It what? It died. Right there, Yahweh is telling all of us, man, if you, now, when we go over to Deuteronomy chapter 6, we're going to see how all of this come into play after the giving of the commandment and the Shema. So now Yahweh is making a covenant with Abraham on his penis. Why would Yahweh make a covenant with Abraham on his penis? What is so significant about the penis? What most men think with? What most men think with? When they see a nice woman walking down the road, you see a woman, ooh, and she walk down the road. Women, as you say, ooh, she looking good. Why? Because our eyes, the Bible says our eyes are what? The windows to our soul. Who we are. Who we are. And you know what is the Hebrew word for circumcision? The Hebrew word for circumcision is vomem. The vav, which is the sixth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The sixth letter is symbolic of Christ. Also is symbolic of a stake, that which holds, that which secures. In the Hebraic text, anytime you see a vav, you'll see a verb there, because a vav add to. It's like a conjunction. It's like and. Because the Hebrew tongue is and he did this, and he did this, and he did this, and always and. There's always a break, and because they had a join. And when you look at the Hebrew text, each scroll is connected and it starts with a vav. Because the vav is what joins, is what secure, is what makes permanent and certain. The vav. And the circumcision, because they never find the word penis in the Bible. This is why most Christian people even afraid to mention the word penis. Penis is a bad word. I must say that. But for me, it's a beautiful word. because it gives me insight into who I am. It's the bishop of my soul. James 2:25. But we were like sheep going astray, but the bishop of our soul drew us back unto him. It's just closing my book. But Va Mem. So now this Vav, which is the 6 letters symbolic of man, which is me, and also the Christ, the perfect way, the better way which has come, and also Mem. What Mems actually mean? You know what Mem literally mean? Mem literally means the unknown. It speaks about water. It speaks about the sea. It speaks about this environment that is not known to mankind. Men afraid and were afraid to go out into the unknown because there was no land there. And the Mem in the Hebraic tongue also is always asked the question, who, what, why, when, and how. Why? Because there's a question letter, Vamem, which speaks about a penis. That is one word, which speaks about circumcision. And then there's another word. It's called foreskin. And the word for foreskin is Ariel. And Ayin is symbolic. Hear the word Ayin. What are you hearing there? You're hearing eye. Ayin is symbolic of what? The eye. And the eye, the Bible tells us, is the what? Window to the soul. Is where enlightenments come. Is the pathway to the seat of consciousness. Is that pathway where all knowledge reside. Is where all understanding and a foresight on what is at present is seen. And we seen that is the foreskin. Who have the eye to see. When you look at your penis, you see a little eye on it, you know? The Hebrew language is very pictographic, pictorial. It's a concrete language. Every single word, it has its root meaning in actuality. They never dealt with the actual philosophical, idealistic ideas. They never dealt with that. They dealt with the tangible. If they can't see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, it don't exist. This is why they had to kill the Messiah. Moshiach, they had to kill him. You crazy? How could the Logos becomes what? Flesh. You crazy? You saying that the Logos, what we know, is the Aleph, the ox, which rules, which secure, which provide, which give support and all that which is necessary for life. And we never seen the Aleph. We hear about the Aleph. We hear about Elohim. We hear about Hashim. And then we're afraid the tetragrammaton Vav, Yod, He, Vav, He. That word that no Hebrew even dare pronounce. Say for mispronunciation on the vowels. No vowel was ever added to that name because that name is sacred. And we now given what? Insight into the knowledge. Ayin. And then the Resh. The Resh speaks about an emerging head. A new head. It's like a child coming out of the birthing canal. An emerging head coming forth.